using the smooth bind skin and the interactive skinning to actually bind the geometry to the joints. And now what I'm going to do is go through the process of skin weights. So let's look at the problem at hand. So if I catch, oops, excuse me, if I take this arm and I will rotate it, all right, you can see that the skinning is, it's deforming pretty well because of the way it was modeled, but I'm getting all kind of weird and not so wonderful operations, like here in the back and on the ear. So what I'm going to do is, what I want to do is start sorting out the weights. So let's start off with the arm, because the arm I use the interactive skin method, and I get this little widget over here after the skin, and when I turn it on, this little widget basically shows me the area that is going to be affected. So let me isolate the arm by pressing Shift I. And as you can see, this widget has 3 colors. All right, the green is to stretch, and you can stretch each side to where you want. So I'm going to bring this up to about the elbow. The blue lines let us, pull it out so we cover the distance. The red lines will, do it, pull them in so I can have like a cone or something like that. Now, I could also, there's also a move tool, which I can't see it at the moment. Let's move on to the next bone. Alright, so I'm going to do the same here. Alright, and I'm going to move this over to the elbow. And the idea is, of course, to have these, interact properly, and just the bones that need to be getting its weight properly. And here you can see definitely that it's going into the fingers, and I do not want that, so I'm going to bring that over, but I am going to make it wider. Alright, so I'm going to go out of the isolation, and then you could see, I don't know if you could see it properly, there we go. And I'm going to re-isolate this because, oops. Alright, so if you press the minus plus buttons on your keyboard, you can make the move tool and the rotate tool come out a bit, and then we can, as you can see, I can use the move and rotate to position the widget a little better. Alright, take this back here. Okay, maybe lift it up. Just lift it up a bit so it doesn't get the thumb. Alright, so let's say this is more or less what I want. Alright. Alright, so now let's start on the fingers. Alright, so I do not want the pinky over there. Bring this in, maybe move it over a bit. Alright, I'm not too worried about most of this stuff because later on I'll come in with the paint weight tool and I'll paint its weights. Alright, so here's another example that is going over the bone. I don't think I sorted this one out properly though. There we go. Alright, and now I'm going to lift this up and push this in. So this is pretty straightforward work, and trust me, this is worth the work. Alright, so I'll do one more finger just so you get the idea, and I'll move on to the rest of the body. So So you see, it's pretty easy to weight your weight everything, and you can see that I'm actually getting the weights the way I like it. All right, so what I'm going to do is just show you now that the weight now, you see, is pretty good. But still, now I need to go and skin weight it properly. Now if we look at the fingers, let me just go, it's on local, okay. I can, bend them, and it will bend more or less properly. Alright, again, I'm going to have to come and skin weight it. At the moment, if we look at one that I didn't skin weight, you see it's going to pull very unevenly through the geometry. Okay, so what I want to do is make sure that all of this stuff is weighted properly. Alright, so I'm gonna pause the video for a second and upload this stage done, and then talk about the paint weights tool. Alright, I'm back. So I uploaded a different file that I already went through and did the arms. So now all I need to do is start painting the weights properly. What I'm going to do here is use the paint weight tool. Now the way I usually go about this is, if I have a shirt, okay, because it's above other objects, alright, and it's usually has to deform where it touches it, let's say the head, alright, it touches the head here. What I want to do is I'm gonna do all its deformations, and then I'll go about weighting the head. Alright, I will not weight the head and the arms and then go over to the shirt, because what will happen if I mirror the information from here, and I do want the information to go from one to the other, because let's say I'll take the shoulder here and I'll move it down. You see, I want this to pull down the shoulder with me. See, like it's happening now, because they got the same weights. So when I'm going to change the weights on the shirt, I want the same weights to move over to the head. Now when I'm going to do that, alright, when I'm going to move those weights over, to try paint it back as the same, it will be impossible, but I can tell it later on to do it. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's the idea. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the shirt and go to skinning. Okay, edit smooth skin, and I'll find the paint weights tool here. There is a shortcut. If I choose the geometry, right click, alright, paint weight tool, see, and then I get it automatically, and we'll open the tool here on the side. Alright, so you know what, I'm going to stop the video here, and in the next video I'll go over the tool and then how I use it for